interesting roles for women in that age group. One good example is the film Wonder Woman. Fortunately, it was a big Marvel. Was it a Marvel movie? A big
DC, I think.
I don't remember. Was it? Mm-hmm. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. It was a big blockbuster thing, but they had a lot of strong women's roles in it. And I thought, thank goodness, and there are a lot of discussions about it these days, but it hasn't changed much. The ageism and the fact that there are just not as many roles for women. So those two things you have to deal with, but again, if you're like me and there's just nothing else that you want to do, you just look for the interesting roles when you can find them. Mm-hmm. I don't get cast as a brownie baking mom, and anytime I get submitted for that, I don't get a call back. And it's just, I think the lesson there is you need to figure out what. I hate to use the word what you're selling, but you are selling something. You're selling a persona, a personality, and as much as we don't like to be put into pigeonholes, you do get pigeonholed because it's an easy way to remember people. So you need to figure out what you project and then look for parts that might fit that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, take the roles you can get, and
really try and focus in that area. I know we like to say we can do everything, and maybe some actors can, but you're not going to be seen as an actor with that versatility, really, unless you're really well established, unless you're at the mega level where you can pick and choose your projects. You need to find your type. And I swear to goodness, I still haven't exactly found mine out. So here I am. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but this is what I've been told, and I think there's some truth in it.
Yeah. My next question is, do you have any upcoming roles or any upcoming projects you can share?
I just finished a short film with an actor called Peter Jacobson. He was on Colony and House. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting project. It hasn't been released yet. It's based on a short story written by a writer named Robert Coates, this story in particular appeared in the New Yorker in the 50s, and it's sort of sci-fi, kind of got a Twilight Zone feel to it, about a man who loses an hour in his life as he's driving from work to home, and he's trying to figure out what happened. And I play a waitress in a diner where he stops and comes in, and he's like a little disoriented, and that's coming up. I did an independent film thriller that hasn't been released yet either, called Last 3 Days, where I play a doctor in that, a kind of a tough doctor who specializes in drug reactions, and the lead has gotten into some weird. He is an undercover cop, and he took some drugs to try and break into this gang of drug dealers. What else? I just finished, I had a small role on NCIS, I guess last week or the week before. That was a lot of fun because I liked the show, and I got to work with Mike Farrell from MASH.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember that show? Oh, gosh. It was such a terrific show. The writing, the acting, everything. And Mike Farrell was a sweetheart. He's also very politically active at the moment. He's got a one-man show. Well, he's always been politically active. He's got a one-man show about the scientist who first brought the dangers of CO2 in the atmosphere to everybody's attention. So he plays this scientist and takes it to schools or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What else? Oh, well, the film Vice was released back in December. That was a fantastic experience. It's projects. I got to work with Christian Bale. Oh my God, who is a very, very sweet man, and so dedicated. He after our scene, he came up and spoke to me afterwards, and I realized in hindsight he was still in character as Dick Cheney. He sort of sidled up next to me and looked at me sideways. And out of the corner of his mouth, he said something, and I realized later, oh, he was still Dick Cheney. I got to play the. I don't know if you're probably too young. Dick Cheney had an unfortunate hunting accident on a ranch in Texas, where he shot a lawyer in the face during a quail hunt. And there has always been speculation about whether or not that was an accident. I played the owner of the ranch, Catherine Armstrong, who was an interesting woman in her own right. Her mother had been the first female ambassador to the UK from America, and Catherine had grown up on this giant ranch in Texas that often hosted a lot of high-up government people to come down and hunt and discuss politics and probably make policy, actually. So they had, the way the director, Adam McKay, had the scene set up is he had Christian Bale as Dick Cheney shooting the quail from the back of his limo. And he accidentally shot the lawyer in the face while doing that. And anyway, it was so much fun. The scene, unfortunately, got cut a lot, but there it is. That happens. There's another thing that you need to prepare for. Your stuff can get cut mightily, and there's nothing you can do. It doesn't mean you were. Well, actually, I had a nice little revelation after this. I went to a screening of Vice, and the editor was there, and I talked to him afterwards, and he said, I had a lot more of you in, but it didn't make the final cut. But don't let anyone tell you that you weren't good, because you were. And he had said in his little Q&A after the film, he said, things get cut. They have to get cut. We have so much material making a film, but it's just part of the editing process. So that made me feel a little better that you can be cut, but it's like being cast. It just doesn't fit at the moment, or your type doesn't fit at the moment. It rarely comes down to whether you made a good performance or not. It's just, it didn't work.
Yeah. It's not you, it's how the film process is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. My last question to you is, and I know we talked a little bit about this, but what is your advice to people who want to be an actor, who want to be in the industry? What is your advice to people who want to pursue that career?
A couple of things. Do train. Do take some classes. This is, there may be a couple of actors you can name who never set foot on a stage or never set foot in a classroom, who are able to step in front of a camera and suddenly magically perform, but those are few and far between. You need to know what you're doing and how to take a script apart and how to figure out where your character might fit in the scheme of the whole story. So get some training. And the other thing which really helped me was, and I think actually Don mentioned this, try to find people who actually work in the business. There are a lot of people who call themselves actors, and they've never actually done it.
Oh yeah.
If you could, you know what I'm talking about. If you can find people who have done it, even made a living doing it, and are still doing it, those are tremendous sources of information for you, particularly because the business is changing so quickly these days. With the advent of digital,
mm-hmm.
you would mail your resume to a casting director. Now everything is online, and that has changed stuff tremendously. Now, if for one role, a casting director might get 3,000 submissions, whereas before in the past, maybe she got 250 in the mail. It has changed the whole game. So the more you can find people who are actually working and talk to them, it's a really big help. So that and training, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, be prepared, know what you're getting into, take classes, and always keep learning, keep up with the technology, keep up with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so much fun when you get it and you're doing it, and it's like nothing else I've ever experienced, really. It's the rewards are tremendous, but there's a long time. There are often long spaces in between your jobs, and that's something else you need to learn to contend with, and get have something you can fall back on for sure.
Oh yeah, have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plan B.
Oh yeah. Well, Holly, it's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing about your career, and thank you very much for letting me talk to you.
Thank you. It's been fun, Trey. You take care.
You too. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was actress Miss Holly Hawkins. Thank you very much for listening, and join us tomorrow when I interview voiceover legend Mr. Jack Angel. Thank you, and God bless you all.